Can you believe this government is flirting with one of the most dangerous ideas in modern British history? Scrapping trial by jury. Not reforming it, not improving it, abolishing it. And the maddest part, half the people shrugging this off have no clue what we're about to lose. Trial by jury isn't some British quirk. It's not a Victorian invention. It's not a BBC period drama. It's ancient Germanic law, older than Parliament, older than the Crown, older than half the cathedrals in this country. It's the idea that your fate is judged by the free men of your tribe, not by the state, not by the Crown, and definitely not by a bureaucrat with a clipboard and a DEI seminar certificate. In a healthy high-trust society, a jury wasn't symbolism, it was survival. Because your peers weren't random strangers, there were people that were tied to the soil, people invested in the tribe, people who shared your customs, people who understood honour, duty and reputation, people who knew what justice felt like. Their well-being was your well-being. Your reputation was their reputation. Judgment wasn't outsourced, it was carried collectively. But modern Britain clearly is not that society anymore. We're atomised, unrooted, unanchored, raised by apps, emotionally volatile or emotionally apathetic, ideologically conditioned, trained to believe that feelings outrank facts, split into dozens of competing worldviews, taught that bias is morality if it comes from the correct side. So what happens when this Britain becomes your jury pool? You don't get judged by peers, you get judged by the algorithm or the rhetoric that raised them. And maybe this is why Britain is obsessed with courtroom dramas, not because we're fascinated by justice, but because it's one of the last places where justice still feels like it was meant to be. Because on TV, truth matters more than ideology. The accused actually gets to speak, and the verdict isn't pre-installed like an iOS update. In fiction, the system works. In reality, the system works when people do. The uncomfortable truth in all of this is if the makeup, values, identity and worldview of a nation radically changes, then the concept of trial by peers becomes kind of philosophically impossible. A jury only works when the people on it share enough common culture to interpret the truth the same way. But when truth is now subjective, when a tweet is violence, speech is crime, facts are offensive, and pervasive ideology is seen as divine, then a jury becomes a roulette wheel with pronouns. Now here's why the state loves the idea of ditching juries. Because juries are the last defence between the individual and an overreaching state. They are the stubborn, unpredictable grassroots checkmate that the state cannot control. A judge can be pressured, a prosecutor can be leaned on, a law can be rewritten, but 12 ordinary people saying, nah mate, this is bollocks. That becomes a force field, and governments hate force fields. So you'll hear, there's a backlog, it's outdated, it's inefficient. Right, and replacing thousands of years of liberty with one judge and a laptop is definitely the effective solution. If your goal is obedience. This is the path we're on. You'll be jailed for a tweet with no chance of a jury to save you. Your fate will be decided by politicised judges, ideological frameworks, government-approved definitions of harm, and a weekly update of offence guidelines pushed by committees that nobody voted for. Sounds fair to absolutely nobody. And here's the truth that makes people even more uncomfortable, which is probably why we're in this mess. This system wasn't designed for fractured, derancinated, imported, globalised populations with no shared culture. It was designed for a tribe, a folk, a people, who trusted each other enough to judge one another. Trial by jury is messy, it's imperfect, it's inconvenient, it's human, but that's the point. Because a justice system without humans in it isn't a justice system. It's an obedience machine. Trial by jury isn't law. It's the last living remnant of an old world belief that power must answer to the people. It's a skeleton key to freedom. And once it's gone for good. So yes, ditching jury trials might clear the backlog, but it'll also clear accountability, fairness, cultural memory, ancient rights, and the last line of defence between the citizen and the state that has existed for 1,000 years. And once that door opens, justice becomes whatever the government says it is.